This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
What is up, 24/7 Buff Pandemonium Sunday Session Season 2, Episode 4, the Buffalo vs. Baltimore episode. I am so excited to be here. Sorry we're a little late. Had some life stuff going on this morning, but we got to figure it out. I want to say hello to everyone here in the comments, and especially a big hello to our boy, Rob Mullen, for throwing the YouTube feed out in the Facebook comments in case people get kicked out because we had them issues on Tuesday. But it looks like everything so far is so good. This man right here is my brother. You know him, you love him, Mr. Scott Reed. What's up, Scott?
Oh, guys, football Sunday. Can't wait. Welcome. Hey, let's go, Buffalo. Hey, it's a conference football game. It's very important that we win this game. We'll see what team comes out. I heard it's supposed to be rainy, 90% chance of rain. And we've got some injuries to talk about. Representing 24/7 Buff Pandemonium, FLX Mafia. Hit us up Twitter, YouTube. We're all live all the way through there, guys. So hit us up. I'm having a coffee this morning. It's been a go at it.
Yeah, if it's been a go, you should be having one of these.
I got one right in the fridge. I might stand up and go get one here when you're chatting about.
Yeah. We got Patrick Hughes watching this because I might miss the game thanks to the hurricane. Oh, damn, dude. I'm sorry for that. We got Eric Hine. What's up, man? Nicole. What's up, Nicole? Lonnie Cook.
What's up, guys?
The Johns. They just had an anniversary. Did you see that?
I saw that. 34 years, something like that.
Congratulations, guys.
Yes.
Big part
congrats,
of our
you guys.
family, and you guys looking so cute posting those pictures and everything. But no, for real, happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Great to see, great to share. And of course, our boy Rob Mullen. We got up over 48 over on Facebook, which means it's probably going to crash on us.
Yeah,
I'm just joking.
Yeah, guys. And those of you new joining, this is our 24/7 Buff Pandemonium, the group page. This is our live stream that we do every Sunday. It's called Sunday Sessions. It's our pregame show. We love doing it. We also have a show we do every Tuesday called the K-Gun Report, 8 o'clock. We talk about the previous game and the next game coming up for all you newbies that are just tuning in. And we do giveaways. And this week we do have a giveaway for next week's show. Swank, you don't mind?
Yeah, do it.
Tremaine Edmonds. We had a little glitch in the system with Facebook last week, and we found that it wouldn't be fair to not include people that did comment that Facebook's not letting us see. So we're doing it all over again. Apologize for people that came in and wanting to win this last week, but your opportunity is coming up again this next Tuesday, 8 o'clock, the K-Gun Report.
Hell yeah. You can find it right here where you're watching it right now. But also YouTube, Twitter. We encourage you to go and follow the other streaming platforms because for some reason, like I said, that was like the worst it's been in a long time. But for whatever reason, Facebook has just been a little cruel to us lately. So, but like I said, everything's working now. So far, so good. Let's get into this game, dude. Let's talk about these inactives. This is a big anticipatory thing. Like we've all been on P&Ns, man, all week, knowing what the hell is what's going to happen, who's going to be out. So I'll just list them off for you guys really fast. We got Jake Kumaro inactive, Justin Murray, O-line, Christian Benford inactive, Ed Oliver, again, man, that ankle injury just looming. Scott and I we'll get into that, but that kind of sucks. Tommy Sweeney inactive and Jordan Phillips inactive. So we got those two big DTs in the middle. Scott, what is going on with Eddie here, man?
I don't know. I saw him practicing this week. There's a lot of limited participation, but when it comes game time, Saturday and Sunday, it looks more and more bleak every time. So I don't know if he comes out, he travels with the team. I don't know if he just starts moving around and they just think he's not 100%. He's not worth putting out there. So, I mean, it's a concern, like I mentioned earlier in the show, that the rain is coming. So it's going to be, I think you're going to see maybe 15, 20 more runs than you normally would. And we need Eddie Oliver and Jordan Phillips there, man, in the middle. So it's concerning for me, but we'll see how these backups do. Tim Settle wasn't on the list. Daquan Jones wasn't on the list. Swank, you're going to like this. I heard there's talks about Zimmer. Bill's keeping in touch with Zimmer from last year, number 61.
Nice.
So we'll see about that. One name I didn't see, Dane Jackson. It was
huge. I mean, he was. There's two names that I was looking for on this list. Him being one. Jay Poe being the other one. Neither of those guys are on this list. So, I mean, it's huge. I mean, do you think Dane gets a full load? I mean, he practiced in full, no contact jersey, not limited. on Friday. That's a good sign. We know how this Bills front office likes to do things, make sure their guys are taken care of, which, there's at least one organization in the NFL that could probably take a little bit of a lesson from that.
Man, oh man, I tell you.
We'll talk about that too a little bit here. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could see with Eddie is that, like you're saying, they don't like something they see. They're not going to take any chances. I'm sure he's pounding the hammer to get in there, but, like, it's a long season, man. It's week 4. So, I don't know. It's a bummer. I want him to eat this year. I hope he comes back and he just has a monster season. But, whatever. If this week has taught us anything, the last 2 weeks have taught us anything, you got to take care of your guys no matter what. So, yeah, super excited. Dane Jackson getting some playing time. Do you think we'll see, like, full load from him or no?
I don't know. With Benford out, it kind of suggests that. I know they brought in Xavier Rhodes, who I thought would have been a good. He's been under Leslie Frazier's system for a while. The Bills do play that zone defense, so they're not asking him to play man and cover people 1,000 yards down the field. I thought that was a great pickup, but unfortunately, he's got a hamstring injury,
Yeah.
and now it's putting him out. So I don't know if they're bringing in Ingram, a guy that saw some time last week, didn't do too bad. Let's not forget, guys, against the Miami Dolphins, we were run thin, and we were still able, with our third and fourth guys, able to keep Jalen Waddle and Hill for only 150 yards total, and that's because there was one 50-yard pass in there. So I have faith in this defense. If Dane comes back and if Poyer comes back, at least we have half of those guys returning. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, because all we have is the inactives. So it'd be interesting to see who they actually pulled up and who they're using for their corners. One thing we don't have to worry about this week is the heat and the exhaustion, for sure.
Just the rain. And it's not supposed to be a monsoon. It's supposed to be steady. Stephon
Right.
Diggs said earlier this week he'd rather play in the steady rain than 100-degree heat down on the sideline. So I guess, yeah, take it from the guy's mouth himself. We got Andy Dickens saying ankle injuries are the worst, especially for a big man. It's a great point, dude. Those are some big fellers, and I wonder if the weather had a little bit to do with that. Like you're saying,
Right.
like they're gonna run a lot. Yeah. Also, the field's gonna be slick. You're probably more susceptible to twist something, re-aggravate, whatever. A lot of people in for Poyer and Dane. Hell yeah, this is huge. Absolutely, Nicole. Poyer back today. That's huge. Yeah.
And some of the actives for some surprises I'm seeing for Baltimore is Ronnie Staley, their starting left tackle, is actually out today.
Mm-hmm.
So that's huge. That's huge. Right now, their backup left tackle, from the way I'm looking at it, is a 4th rounder from this year's draft. They also have a rookie center in there, in Tyler Linderbaum, who's a rookie this year. So that offensive line is going to have 2 rookies manning that front 5. But I mean, if you're going to have those guys out, Swank, you'd like to see that their line was a little depleted too. So that's what I'm looking at this point. That was a surprise.
Out. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
and then Justin Houston on the other side of the line, offensive outside linebacker, he's also out today. So that's kind of huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's been having a great season. So yeah, I mean, the biggest thing we got to look out for is Lamar himself. If you get Lamar and Andrews locked, I think that they're going to have a good day. I think this offense comes and completely eats and just destroys a depleted and lackluster Ravens defense today.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you agree Lamar's the biggest worry today?
Of course, especially when the ground's going to be slick with his moves. You're going to have to lower the hips. Don't get turned to the side. Keep the guy in front of you and try to just either contain him for somebody else can come pick him up, or just making sure that he's not letting us look like we're on ice skates out there.
Hell yeah.
But he's always a threat. Always a threat.
Yeah. Casey Nicole says Mitch Morrison today. As far as we know, man, he's not inactive. So
Swank, I do have the active list here.
Oh, great. Let's hear it.
This means wide receiver Gabe Davis, Jordan Poyer, Dawson Knox, Dane Jackson, and Mitch Morse are all active for today's game.
Yes. I tell you what, man, all those dudes are crucial. But we saw last week Mitch Morse is a linchpin for this offensive line. When he is not in there, things do not go quite as smooth. I can't believe that they did not make as many comments about the low snaps from VR last week to Josh Allen. Like, I didn't hear one comment about it, and it was like that transition was just lacking, man. Like it was bad. Everything was low, and I think that's why they got away too. Didn't they lose one during the exchange when he was under center?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And Josh grabbed it.
Yep.
I think that's why they went to shotgun for most. Like I don't think he went under center much at all after that.
Right.
You know.
Because if it's a bad snap and shotgun, the least you could do is fall on it. If it's
Yeah.
a bad snap under the center, not only do you have to fall on it, but now you're collapsing the offensive lineman's legs. You're falling on the back of him, and that's a high risk for injury. But even that long snap that's short, it looks like Josh Allen is pretty fluid out of it, but he's still got to look down and catch that ball, which means he takes his eyes off the linebackers and the safeties to see if it's man or a zone or if someone's blitzing or anything like that. That all counts. So the fact that Mitch Morse is back is freaking huge. That's awesome.
Enormous, and we love Big Mitch on this show. Actually, another lineman just followed us on Twitter today. A friend of the show, Mr. John Fina. Hoping to get him back on here soon.
Yeah, he was an awesome guest last year. The thing that we love about our guests is that you could tell, Swank, that when they start talking football, they kind of reminisce a little bit. And we love just sitting back, listening to them tell stories, get a perspective that us as fans, this is a fan first perspective podcast. To get those guys to come in here and tell us about the coaches and about how they were treated and about how things are, what to look at during the game, that stuff is all like a little salt on the steak there.
Well, I mean, dude, one of the things that he said when he was on that blew my mind. And it's like common sense stuff. Like, you know, we're all like pretty smart dudes and we pay attention to games and pay attention to things, and you guys played and whatever, like, but just the lean, like that little like inch lean, like whether their weight was shifted forward slightly or shifted back slightly, and that could tell you whether it was a pass or a run play. Like, I was just like, it's so simple, but like I never, you know, and obviously you don't have a camera right down on the field on the center or whatever, or any of the linemen, but like that attention to detail just like blew my mind. Like, yeah, obviously, right? Like you can see where the shoulders are like swinging pendulum over their stance, and I don't know. I was just like, wow, that's awesome.
I admit, when he was telling us to watch the off guard to see what he's doing, is he got his foot back and all that, which way he's leaning, it tells you what the play is before. The next week I actually went and did it, and you know, John Fener's no liar. He'll tell you the
He knew
truth.
what he was
man.
doing, yeah.
I didn't go there to check him. I went there to learn some more things, and you definitely do.
We got the amazing Miss Paulette Brown asking if Poyer's playing today. Yes, he is, Paulette.
He is.
Yes, he is. So, what do we need to do offensively, Scott, to get a victory today?
Score points. Score more points than the other team.
Oh, you gave me the Madden response. I like that.
Yes. What I like, like you mentioned, with there is rain expected, but it's not going to be heavy rain. And guys, as wide receivers, you see them wearing gloves. What do they do sometimes? Well, they need a little extra stick, Swank. They lick their fingers. Sometimes it's a little bit of a rain. As a quarterback, I didn't mind a little bit of a rain because as long as you kept the ball not getting drenched, it becomes a little more sticky. The ball does. So Josh Allen's hands are big enough. His cannon is strong enough. And these wide receivers' hands are tough enough. I don't see them venturing too far off away from their pass game. And I just hope they bring more than 5 people this week, unlike they did last week. But I see the offense running on all cylinders. I see them getting their 24 points back that they left behind against Miami last week.
Yeah.
I could see Josh spreading the ball very beautifully like he did the first 3 weeks of the season. The Baltimore Ravens are in trouble. They for sure are. And that's what I'm expecting of the offense. Maybe sprinkle in. Remember, it's not only slick for our defense, it's slick for their defense. So if you get someone like James Cook out there or Devin Singletary catching the ball and doing their one cut things, you may see a very frustrated defensive core for the Baltimore Ravens today.
Hey, I'm telling you, I put Singletary in my dynasty league. I think last week was pretty telling of how they want to use these running backs, and I think maybe Singletary got some of them those little catches that James Cook is probably going to get in the future, but it seems like they want to start incorporating that more into their offense. So I missed out on a ton of points from Mr. Singletary. Still won my league, but I'm putting him in this week. I got faith in Motor. So
nope,
yeah,
I agree. It's nice to see that they're actually. I would like to see them get more runs, but to see a lot of the successful offenses in this league get their running backs involved. And I think it was 8 catches, 80-something yards, and a touchdown, or whatever the stat line was for last week. I like to see that because
Yeah.
now linebackers are going to start having to creep up. The defensive ends are going to have to start when the what running back crosses their face, they're going to have to start following them out there because Devin Singletary now is a threat to the offensive pass game, which is going to open up the middle. It's just going to wreak havoc for the defensive backs and safeties who otherwise wouldn't have to worry about him coming out of the backfield. So it's another element of the game that Ken Dorsey's bringing to Buffalo.
Rob Mullen is harping on ball security right now, and I love it, man. He says, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but we lose games with the kind of mistakes and missed opportunities with conditions like these. So ball security is a real issue. 2 hands on the ball. Absolutely. I want to see everybody over under in that motherfucker. I mean, he's right. Like, and historically, like, as Bills fans, we feel like if there's a way to lose it, if they can find a way to lose the game, they'll find it, right? It's these extreme weather condition games. Like, wait, what game have they completely dropped the ball on where it was like good weather? You know what I mean? Like maybe you could say like that Indy game, last year or something. But like other than that, they got the formula there. I think somebody else was talking about they got to score in the red zone. I think it was Patrick. They got to. They absolutely got to. Some of those play calls down there, I was a little like, geez, man. And like I love the aggressiveness. I love going for it on 4th down, all that stuff. Sometimes reading the room and taking the points on a 100-degree day, like whatever. I don't know. I think it's fine. It was like a heart-sinking loss, more so for me. Like without the L, it was more about seeing them put everything out. Like every single dude was gassed on the Bills. Every single dude was going out. Every single dude was getting pulled and hydrated, and it was just like killing themselves for this game, and to lose that way, was just like, yeah, it sucked that we lost, but it was more like gut-wrenching that you saw them put everything out there and it didn't go their way.
They didn't lose because of lack of trying, for
No.
sure. Those guys gave it their all. And I hate to go back to the Miami game, Swank, but um, Ken Dorsey was very frustrated at the end of the game. The only reason I'm talking about Ken Dorsey is because I think Patrick Hughes just said, make sure there's no spiders in the booth today. Um, the one thing that did concern me, and you said it, reading the room. Um, we all know, we've discussed it. Reactive is a lot more. It wears you down a lot more, makes you more tired, makes the muscles and bones react different, makes it exhausts you reacting rather than being proactive. So the fact that they passed the ball 63 times and didn't run the ball, I can guarantee you these linemen would rather run forward and not have to react to a guy blitzing and them putting their hands on someone so they can wear them down. So reading the room is very important. If you notice that the offensive line is looking to start running the ball, give Singletary the rock, Moss the rock. You got to read the room. You got to understand what's happening during these games, and you got to adjust accordingly. So I hope that if it's a 2nd and goal at the inch-yard line, we're not dropping back in a shotgun 3 plays in a row and going forward on 4th down. You got to be able to trust your offensive lineman and put Moss in there. If you can't get that much on 3 plays or 2 plays, you've got issues.
Tyler Delaney says, I saw they're only carrying 5 corners. You got the active list up there still? He said, is there 6 receivers then? And if so, who is in for Kumaro and who's active at wide receiver? I think I know where he's going for this. Is Shakir active today?
Right. Let me find. A lot of times with that active roster, they tell you who's not active and then the key people that aren't.
Yeah.
So I'll find it for you, Swank. And who asked that? Tyler? Okay,
Tyler Delaney. What's up, Tyler? Yeah, please get your comments in. We're going to be here until 12:30, so you got about 28 more minutes. We'll go over the defensive side of the ball here. Want to do a little Tua talk probably in between there. And then we're going to get everybody's score predictions, bowl predictions. And, Scott and I, of course, we're going to weigh in on that. So Casey Nicole says they're going to be frozen fish, and I'm here for it. Andrew Schneider says I'll be traveling home for that game. Lonnie Cook, go Bills. Oh, they're having a little discussion about one of the games here.
Bills 132 14. Have a nice day. Nice, Lonnie. Thank you for that. Yeah, they're not giving me the full active roster.
Okay. Well, we'll figure it out by kickoff for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Shakir get a couple more touches. He should be active. I don't know who else you're gonna bring up. Hodgins. I mean,
I don't
Shakir.
know.
To me, Shakir is like more ready, but
Mm-hmm.
who
Mm-hmm.
knows?
And you spent a third round or fourth round draft pick on him, so you got to get in there at some point. Maybe there. Did you hear who was playing as Lamar Jackson during practice?
Tavon Austin.
Davon Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's going to be the active one. Who knows? We'll see it when they come out.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, I guess get as many fast little dudes out there as you can.
Well, when it's rainy out, there's two ways to look at it. You can bring the heavy-footed people, the people that are crisp route runners and aren't like don't run 900 miles an hour, or you can with the plans to have them be more crisp, or you can bring your speed demons out there and hope that the defense is slipping and on ice skates and you can get open that way. So we'll see what Bill's approach there is. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be Diggs, Davis, McKenzie. Kumero's not there, so who'd be the fourth receiver? I'm having a brain fart.
Diggs, Davis,
Diggs,
McKenzie.
Davis, McKenzie. Here we go. Actually, you know what? I could probably look it up right here. This is Stump the Fandemonium.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Jamison Crowder. That's right.
Crowder. There you go.
And I do have a Khalil Shakir name highlighted in green here,
Nice.
which suggests possibly that he's in there because the Bills right now are carrying only 6 wide receivers, and he looks like he is the fifth guy.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Khalil Shakir.
Hey, I like it.
Me too. Me too. Yeah.
Mike V's got you. Crowder.
Crowder. Thanks, Mike.
You know what's
Mike
crazy is that, like, they're just so deep, like, and the top 3 guys are the top 3 guys, and it just, whatever. It slips your mind sometimes. It took me about 3 months to remember that Von Miller was on this team. You go through all the accusations and the draft and everything, and you're like, oh my God, we got this guy and this guy and this guy. And like, oh, God damn, and we got Von Miller, dude. Like, oh my God.
It's a good problem to have is not knowing who is having such good depth at your starter when their starters are out. I mean, you can't remember them all, but when we finally remember who they are, and it's like, oh shit, that's right, he's a legit backup.
We were talking in the off season on any other team, like Crowder would be getting first team reps at slot. Any other team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
Let's change gears just a little bit before we hit this defense. No.
Shift.
Jesus, okay. I thought you were having a stroke. Tua. I don't want to beat this thing to death, but everybody's got an opinion about it. They did fire the neuro doctor. I think it was. So was it Miami's doctor or was it the non-biased, non-partisan doctor that the NFL sends?
I don't know, but I'm guessing it was the non-bias because he's the one with the final say.
Okay. So the way I look at it, and I tried to call into Sal and Sneaky Joe's show the other day at work because they were talking about all this. Obviously, that's the big topic in the NFL right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where is the responsibility on the refs for this? There was a system of checks and balances all the way through this. Multiple doctors, multiple training staff, coaches, the player themselves. But the refs are like the front line in this, and they could have stopped it too. I mean, to me, they should have never let him come. Like, none of those people should have let him come in. It was so, like, just obvious that this dude is stumbling around, can't handle, like, whatever, and he says back injury. Like, come on. I do like how everybody's doubling back on it now, and I wonder what McDaniel's going to do because it's a back injury. We treated it like a back injury, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, well, now you just fired the dude that, like, let him come back on. So, like, what are you just going to say he gave you bad information? You know what I mean? Like, none of you know what a concussion looks like. You all played.
Right. Right.
Like, it's ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. And I don't know if we were talking about it or not, but there was a tweet out that they were like, have you ever seen anything this like blatantly like horrible in the NFL like this, like in the treating of a situation? And I think Jeremy White actually tweeted it out. And there were some people weighing in like, no, this is like the worst thing ever. The thing that I keep going back to, dude, is RG3. RG3, the way that they abused that dude in Washington, bringing him back too soon, ending his career basically, you know, and it's like that's what it's reminiscent to me. I think that this thing with Tua is a little more serious and a lot potentially like life-threatening, life-altering. And now they're saying he just has a headache, and they're talking. And I'm like, dude, if you let him play next week, like I worked in residential for 7 years, dude. I've had 5 concussions, and let me tell you, like that last one, that was enough for me, dude. Like I'm done. Like, you know, and they took me out for weeks. You know, it wasn't like 4 days.
Right.
So.
Right. I mean, it's the eye test, Swank. I mean, the NFL has to be careful now because not only what they've already done, but now you're starting to insult the intelligence of the people that are watching the game, the people that are spending the money on the merchandise, the tickets, all that stuff. We're not stupid. And, you know, many of the fans are in the health field. You know, I'm someone that understands as a nurse, there is a such thing as called second impact concussion. When you let someone come in too early, their brain is already swollen a little bit, whether they have any kind of trauma anywhere else. And now you're going to add insult to injury. That's very deadly. Someone could die from that. Not now, not tomorrow, but in a couple weeks, because concussions can last for months to years. And unless you're doing MRIs constantly, you're not going to know this. This is my concern was, and to answer your question about the refs, I don't think they can withhold any kind of gameplay. It all comes from the medical staff. So
I
they
don't know
can't.
about that, man, because my whole point with that phone call was going to be during the Titans game, Stephon Diggs got popped on the sidelines, and they do have the ability to pull anybody from the game at any time if they think that they've gotten hit.
Okay,
and might have
to go get reviewed?
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay.
They did that, like, Steph got, like, just a little pop, and it wasn't anything big, and he was jogging back to the huddle, and the guy grabbed him and, like, on the sideline and said no. And I was sitting there yelling at the TV and to my wife being like, that's bullshit. Like, how... They say that Bills fans are crazy and whatever, and like maybe we've just had like all these years of like feeling like everything's against us. But I was like, how the hell did they consider that? Like, you got to go get checked for a concussion. And you could tell. And he was like waving in like somebody to come and replace him and stuff. And they checked him out real quick. And he was in the next play. But I'm like, so that the dude gets popped shouldered out of bounds real quick, and you're being so safe that you want to do that. But this dude. It's sitting here like a cartoon with birds flying around his head, you know, looking like me at the end of the Houston Texans-Bills game last year.
So I see what you're saying. I think they do have the power to have someone get reviewed, but this is where it failed. Once they're reviewed and passed, I don't think they have a say anymore, which I believe it's a game of advocacy for me. I don't care if the NFL people, their private people say, okay, he passed, he can go. And people are trying to say it's not Miami's fault. Yes, they do have a medical staff. And I'm telling you what, if I know someone that had concussion wobbling off the field and the neuroscientist passed them, me as a medical professional, I'm going to go to coach and say, they passed him. I'm telling you right now, do not play him. I'm going to advocate for him. He did suffer concussion. We all saw it. I don't care what these guys say. He's not playing. There's that part. And you're right, advocacy part. Those refs should have been like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to ref this game if you guys are going to allow this guy to drop back in the pocket and continually getting hit after what we just saw. That ref was standing right by him.
Yeah.
So it's got to be some point, maybe instead of having one guy, a non-biased neuroscience guy, make the decision, have everybody be the eye test. There's spotters up in the game that'll pull someone out just by the way they saw and have them get reviewed. So it's a big miss, not by the NFL, not just by the NFL, but Miami with their shady shit going on in the offseason. Right now, their owner is still on a suspension. So they're shady as shit right now, and they're just digging that hole deeper. And it's a big to do. And yeah, I'm telling you right now, he better not play at all this year. That's how severe this could be.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about too. And then, I mean, like I said in his last press conference, Dan was like, He's got a headache. He's doing a lot better. Headache. Yeah. Your brain slapped on the inside of your skull twice.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they want to talk about that Milano hit. If I have to hear one more time, like just the phrasing, that late hit by linebacker Matt Milano, I'm like, dude, that was like getting shoved in high school because you cut in line at the like in lunch or something. Like it was, he jabbed him in his shoulders, and yeah, he fell back and shit. And I'm not taking anything away from what happened, but that was not like a malicious hit. This second one, dude, he got whipped around like a helicopter blade and slammed.
Yep.
Like, and I really can't believe that they didn't try and call roughing the passer on it, because I mean, taking him down, but then that hip twist, man, it was like, it was a scary one, and his fingers and all that stuff. I mean, we all saw it. It's just, hopefully, you know, he's all good. We know what CTE's like, man. You've seen it. You've seen it over the years. You know, this is where it starts. This kind of stuff. So, big up to Tua. Hope he does well. Hope the Dolphins do the right thing. You know.
And just to clarify the air a little bit, as us Bills fans, when we said he should not have finished the last game against Miami, it's not because we wanted the advantage of not having Tua out there. I talked to Jared, and I know we talked Swank. If Josh Allen got hit the same way we saw him wobbling, even if we were down one touchdown, we would still collectively say, leave him out the rest of this week. Okay, it's not just, oh, you suck, you're mad because you lost. No, I'm mad because now there's someone that potentially their career has ended because of lack of responsibility. So
Dolphins fans are so hungry for like this title currently that like they're not thinking about like I think what we've thought about. Like if Josh Allen gets racked and he has to sit out a couple games right now, that's better because we have him for 8 more years. Okay, I won't even remember these games. You know, like, you know what I mean? So for you to be like, no, you're just mad because you lost. Nah, dude, you don't understand. You can't piss us off because we lose. Like, we're a fan base that has dealt with the biggest losses. Yeah, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we know what this team is. We had to sit through the miracle and wide right and, like, all these crazy things. Like, you think, like, losing to the Dolphins in regular season, like, it really affects me that much? Tyrod beat you so that we could end the freaking streak. You know, like the drought. I don't know. There's better games to be worried about. This is one regular season AFC matchup, sure. And I think today has a lot more implications going forward with that, and that loss is there. But, I mean, replace the Dolphins with the Patriots for the last 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, you're never going to get away with, like, everybody in your division being crap. You know, like it's never going to happen unless you're in the NFC East.
Right. The Eagles are pretty good.
Eagles are good. Well, they're the Bills in this instance.
Right.
Crap. But, hey, so let's talk about the Ravens offense here. We did touch a little bit on Lamar. What's his defense got to do today, you think?
And it's been the same every week for me. I think just contain. Like it's going to be slippery field. Lamar does what he does. I mean, he's got 28 carries for 243 yards. That's not including his improvisations to rolling around and getting yards that way. He's a leading rusher there. So make sure he doesn't get around the edge. Make sure he doesn't sneak in the middle somewhere, because if we're dropping in zone, Edmonds is at least 10 yards back. So contain. That's going to be the big thing for the defense. With Baltimore's offensive line struggling with 2 potential rookies starting this week, it's big. It's big. We need to just make sure we contain him. I think J.K. Dobbins is coming back, who's a hell of a running back for the Baltimore Ravens. So, and we haven't seen a lot of him this year because of injury. So we need to tighten our chin straps a little bit and get ready for that hell of a runner right there. He's a good running back. And then I know I'm just relieved that we have 2 of our 4 defensive backs back. So I'm not so worried with that anymore.
Yeah.
But the defense, just bring pressure, put the pressure on that line, and make life miserable for Lamar. I mean, we've had his number the last couple of years, but how many times are we going to say this and get away with it? You know what I mean? So let's prove it every game that we still have the Baltimore. They still have Greg Roman as our offensive coordinator. So unless he's doing something dramatically different, we should still have their number. But we got to play the game.
If you can slow down the run and you can stop Mark Andrews, I think you're in pretty good shape. we haven't talked about, this is a big platform for Kyrie Elam to step up. I'm not making as much over the Benford starting over him thing as a lot of people are. I think comparatively their snaps side by side, especially going into last week, were like pretty close. I mean, Benford had a handful more, and he gets the start, and I really think that was the light of fire under Elam. Man to man, Bateman, he's a big wide receiver. He's got some skills. I think it'll be a good test, unless Dane's got him. But you know how they do with the zone, so we'll see. This could be a nice way for Elam to kind of like fall into his own. Game 4, like, let's go.
Yep. You're a month into it. And let's not forget, Swank, 3 weeks ago, we played the Super Bowl champions of last year. 2 weeks ago, we played the number 1 seed in the playoffs last year. Last week, we played arguably 2 of the fastest wide receiver cores you'll see in the NFL, and we've done pretty phenomenally. Yeah. So this could be a game where Elam settles back, gets his first pick 6, and gets more comfortable with the system.
I love that. Oh, God, I love that. All right, Paul Rossi, linebackers and safeties got to stop Andrews and make up for any missed tackles. Patrick Hughes stopped Lamar and tight end Andrews. Paul Rossi's also hoping the D plays a top game today.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they have let us down at all this season.
Nope.
Even with all the injuries and everything that's, there, I just think they've played phenomenal. They're still, to me, the number 1 defense in the league. I know the 49ers were ranked above them there for a little while. But I don't know, man. How can you argue? I just can't wait for Eddie to get back, man. That's what's like blowing my mind right now. Like Micah, okay, like he's gone for the season. So, you just gotta wait for next year. And I think Jaquan Johnson and Hamlin have been doing, or Jaquan Johnson have been doing great, and Hamlin's been doing good. The corner thing, you're waiting for Trey. That's the thing. This is the last week Trey gets evaluated, so he could possibly be back next week.
Right.
And that would be huge. You have him and Dane back just like you planned. With Elam rotating in and doing whatever. It's to have this team back 100% to see what it looks like it did week 1. Like, it's scary. Better than week 1. You got Tre'Davious White back.
Yep.
So let's get into some score predictions, bold predictions, a little X factor. What do you got, Scott? Take your time, do your deal, and let us know in the comments.
Score prediction. I'm sticking the whole to what I said before, 42 to 24. I can't see this defense stopping our offense. Yes, Miami did it last week, but we left a lot of points on the board. So 42 points seems like the obvious for me. This defense is a bit banged up, and our offense is actually pretty still stellar. So 42-24, I'm going to give them those points. They're playing at home, and they got Lamar Jackson, so you got to give them something.
Nice. Yep. I'm going. We'll go back and forth. I think I did 35-17, I believe, was what mine was, and I'm sticking to that as well. I think you're going to see this offense come out blazing, and there's going to be a nice balance between running and passing. We all know Josh Allen isn't afraid to throw the ball in the rain, and if it's a missed, whatever. You got Gabe Davis that's going to be out there waiting to prove something, because he not only from missing a game but also not being featured a whole lot last week. I think he's going to have something to say this week. I think Stephon Diggs is going to continue his wide receiver reign and put up them yards, them points for anybody in fantasy. And I think you're going to get a lot of running back work. I think you're going to see Motor get a lot of work today. And, he's the only one that hasn't fumbled out of that backfield yet this season, right? So, sure hands. Let's do it.
There you go.
What do you got for a bold prediction, buddy?
I'm going to go ahead and give Kyrie Elam his first pick 6.
Yeah, you already mentioned. You kind of teased that one earlier, dangled it.
Yeah, like you said, we played some against some pretty stellar teams and wide receiver cores. I think it's time that he can settle in a little bit, maybe gamble a little bit with kind of baiting Lamar Jackson to throw one of those outside routes, and he's going to jump it. At 24, needs to put the ball in the air and slam it into the end zone. I think once before Trey White comes back, just so we can all go. There he is. Yep.
Yes, I like it. Let's see here. Rob Mullen thinks it's going to be a turnover fest. Bills on the winning side of that. He says 43-35. We got my boy Josiah saying 35-13 Bills. Jeremy Blair 31-24.
There you go, Jeremy.
Casey saying 28-21 in a close one there. Paul Rossi, Bills win on last drive ends the chatter about not being able to win close games. Paul, I'm good with that win. I've said it for a while. I'm good with the blowouts, man.
Yep.
I'm good with the second stringers coming in for the whole third, fourth quarter, whatever. You know, me and Brent Thompson, we're all about that backup QB getting us some fantasy points. Christian, 34-24. Josh has 2 running touchdowns. Does he have one this year?
Look
Let me see. Up. Oh, we got Bay Robbie from Let's Talk 716 Sports. What's up, buddy? He says,
"What's up, Robbie?
Bills 35, Ravens 24. Go Bills." We got Patrick Howell. What's up, Patrick? I'm gonna say bold prediction on my end here. I think Big Gabe gets 2 TDs today. I really think that he's gonna come out and prove something.
Allen's got 1 touchdown run.
1 touchdown, okay. Oh, Christian said just 1. Yeah, there
Just
you go.
1, yep. Time he caught up and got 2 more. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think Gabe's coming out and making up for some lost time, and they're really gonna, take advantage of really a poor secondary and a poor defense. Yep. 2 weeks ago it was rated 32nd in the NFL. And a lot of that was weighted from the Miami fourth quarter, but also the Miami fourth quarter happened. So, I think they're beat up. We're getting healthy at the right time. I think you see Gabe have a big day. I think you see Knox have a big day too. I know he's been struggling with some nagging injuries too, but he's got to pick up and get out there at some point, man. Quentin Morris is starting to look good, just like everybody wanted him to. He's doing what he's asked to do when he's in there. You got Reggie doing what they're asking him to do. They're throwing him the ball down the field.
And then some, I think.
Yeah, Jesus. So, Pat
says, Gabriel Davis needs to make up for that drop last week too. So I think he'll be thinking about that this week.
Yes. Yeah, the amount that dude works in on the jug machine, that
drop.
Killed him. Yeah, the drop. That touchdown, you mean?
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's 12:26. I'm about running dry. So
I'm about ready to start.
Let's get this final thoughts in on this game. If you guys got anything else to say, hey, don't forget to put your fantasy lineups in. I'm sorry if you forgot and you had anybody from the Vikings or the Saints. Has that game ended? It has to have, right? You got Kirk Cousins, right?
No, I started Jameis Winston because he's been hot, and then I found out that Dalton is actually starting this week.
Oh, no, dude.
I knew it all week. I just didn't get to it.
Oh, that's horrible.
But I'm still projected to win, so that'll piss someone off.
Is that in our league or in the other league?
Our league.
Oh,
I think okay. Beginning of the game we were tied. Now I'm not. So
yeah.
As far as projections go, we all know how they bounce around.
I'm up against Big Josh Cook this week, and I had Higgins who went off for me, and what else did I have? Oh, the running back for Miami, who did all right for me too.
Edmonds?
Yes, Edmonds. Mm-hmm. Which all the experts said to bench. And I was like, man, he always gets at least 1. Like, he's gotten 1 almost every single game this year. So I kept him in. He did all right for me.
Adam Copenhaver is who I'm playing against. And right now, I'm only projected to lose by 2 points.
Who else you got playing?
I had Justin Jefferson playing, who just scored a running touchdown, 10 catches, 147 yards, and 2 rushing touchdown.
Are they winning?
I still have Nick Chubb to play. Oh, I had Mike Thomas out as well. and he's in my starting roster. So I'm potentially still going to beat him without a quarterback and wide receiver.
Oh my God, dude. Wow.
Ouch, that burns a little bit.
Wow. Pat
Okay.
says it's tied 25-25. It's going into overtime, huh?
Yeah, it must be.
Chris Christian, how many sacks do the Bills get this week, and how many will Rousseau get? Ooh, I like that question.
My bold prediction on the Kagan report was four total between Miller and Russo, and I think obviously with this offensive line banged up a little bit, and with the rain, that's definitely potential. Four combined.
I like
That's
it.
just with those guys. That's just with the ends.
I mean, I think Russo's good for one, at least keep his streak alive. I think he's got one in every game so far this year. I'd like to see him get two.
3.5 sacks he's got.
Huh?
3.5 sacks.
3.5, yeah. He got 1.5 last week, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to just keep chugging and chugging and chugging and chugging. This is the thing, man. Like, again, I'll go back on. I'm not trying to piss and moan, but man, Eddie, like I just keep thinking what this line looks like when Ed Oliver and Jordan Phillips are both healthy, but Ed Oliver in there with him, Groot, and Mill. Oh, God, man. It's like.
We had 7 sacks last time those guys were all together.
I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. So, thank you so much for hanging out with us on Sunday Sessions. Facebook did great, man. Stayed on the whole time. Got a lot of interaction. You can catch us every Sunday for Sunday Sessions, 11:30 to 12:30 for 1 o'clock games. And it'll vary. Primetime games, we try to do a half hour before kickoff. That's when we'll end. So whenever the kickoff is, we try to end a half hour before. Right. Thanks for hanging out with us. It was a great time. You guys are awesome. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, all that stuff. Scott, you got anything?
Hey, man, one game at a time. We got Sunday football, 1 o'clock Sunday football. It's a conference game. Cheer loud, drink responsibly. And don't forget the 24/7 Buff Pandemonium page does a live game day thread. Jump in on that. Have that conversation with us during the game as a whole. I can't wait for it. We're only a half an hour away from kickoff. Let's go 3-1. Let's go 3-1 in the week 4 for sure.
Yeah. This game's got huge implications to me.
It's a conference game. You got to win them.
Conference game. Could be one of those games that's determining seeding at the end of the season. So.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for hanging with us. We love you guys. Go Bills.
Hey, we love you guys for sure. Oh, yeah. Tune into the K-Gun Report this week. You'll be entered to win a chance to win this Tremaine Edmonds mini helmet for sure. 8 o'clock standard Eastern time. Love you guys. Go Bills!
Go Bills!
This is a dangerous group